What's up, everybody? How's everyone today? This nice, lovely, what day is it? Wednesday. Um, as we are approaching the end of March, got about a week left. Today is Wednesday at the time of recording, because this probably won't go up the same day. But that's just how it is. Wednesday, March 24th. Welcome to Brad's Bad Show about games. My name is Brad, and I am not the world's greatest detective. But that's alright, because he will be here soon. And we'll get into that momentarily. But let's jump right into things, as always, with a little bit of Fortnite talk, which is going to be what most of this episode is going to be about. But, Epic recently announced that the second Llama-Rama is coming in celebration of, what is it? I think it's a year since Rocket League went free to play, I think. Has it been a year? Or maybe, I don't know. No. It couldn't be that it's been a year. Maybe it's been a year since they bought it or something. But anyway, I'll have to go look into that. I don't think it's been a year since it's been free to play though. That seems way too short of a period of time. But I could be wrong. Anyway, so as of course there will be Fortnite items you can unlock in Rocket League and Rocket League items that you can unlock in Fortnite. And from what I remember last year, there really wasn't all that much interesting stuff from the Llama-Rama. Like, at least this year you get a, there's a wrap. Oh, I may be wrong. I'll have to go back and, yeah. Never mind. Scratch that. Forget it all. There was more than I remember. As I'm looking at these on the screen now, this is the stuff you can earn from, within Fortnite. I'm starting to remember some. There's a contrail. I think there was a loading screen. There was some music. So I was wrong. But hey, it'll give me an excuse to play Rocket League again. I still got to get some of that footage up. I actually just edited the new stuff or stuff from that first playthrough yesterday because it's just been a while. But I played Rocket League for several days and had a lot of fun with it. I just haven't touched it in a while. But it's a fun game. So I'll be definitely doing those challenges in those games to get the cosmetics and stuff. I don't have a picture of the Rocket League cosmetics, but it's what you would expect. It's more like llama themed things and stuff like that. So that'll be fun to do. The next crew member skin for Fortnite has been revealed, and it is the Allie skin. She is Lynx's sister, and I assume she is a model because her description says she's from the Walkway. She comes with a pickaxe, a back bling, a skin with which, as far as I can tell, has no variation, a wrap, and a loading screen. So this image here is sort of deceptive a little bit. Doesn't give you the full set of stuff. At first, when I saw this, I thought that was all we were getting. I didn't realize that the back bling is in her hand there to show it off. You can't see it on her back. So you do get a good bit of stuff. So I do think that it's worth it. I just hope they don't do another set where they do like the Green Arrow set, where it was a skin, a back bling, and a pickaxe, and that's it. I mean, the V-Bucks too, which the V-Bucks are pretty much the big draw, in my opinion. It's the reason why you don't drop out of the thing, because you get the V-Bucks. But this seems to be a very mixed reaction sort of skin. I'm not really sure how I feel about it yet. It'll probably grow on me like the Lambro skin did, which I saw some people saying they actually prefer this one to Lambro. So, what do I know? But I want to give it a chance. It looks a little wonky. I think I saw somebody point out, that's the face is a little odd, but it's also like there's a lot going on her head. She's got like the face paint. She's got the really long hair, the hat with the ears. So the rest of the skin is like just like a black bodysuit, so it's like all of the attention and stuff is like in the upper part of the skin. Maybe that's why her hair is so long, is to try to cover the fact that it's sort of bland once you get down, uh, like past the what is that? I guess a blue jacket. But anyway, I'm interested in the lore aspect of it because this other character, Lynx, who was in the game before I started playing, I think she's supposed to be a pretty important character, and this is her sister. Like, are some of these characters going to be in the story at some point? Like the Fox Clan girl that showed up, um, what was that, in January? No. That was the February skin, my bad. Uh, they did the whole thing there where she hacked the Fortnite Twitter account and then deleted all her tweets. That was cool, but that hasn't gone anywhere yet. So, will that uh, will that ever mean anything, or was that just to hype up the skin, to sell some crew memberships? Possibly, I guess. But anyway, I want to see this in game and look at it, play, and see what it looks like, and maybe it'll grow on me. I don't hate it. It's not bad. It's just, well, at least it's better than Green Arrow. At least as far as an overall set, you do get like a whole wrap, and the loading screen does look cool. She looks better in the loading screen, in my opinion. It's the art style. But anyway, we'll see how this one looks in game. That's only a week away, so. But speaking of new skins, Fortnite tried to roll out the new starter pack, the Hazard Platoon pack, with the Centurion skin, but it was really buggy and they pulled it. This is the first of the starter packs that I've seen that I actually really want. It's not in the game. It's still not in the game as I'm recording this. At least I don't think so. But this is the first of the ones that I've played since last year that I've really, really wanted. The one that was in the shop when I started was like the blue-haired girl with like the big pink sweater, like hoodie or something like that. I can't remember. I think her name was Iris. I think that's what the skin's name is. I can't remember. I'm probably completely wrong on that. And I was gonna look it up and go look it up, but it's not that important. Anyway, like the starter pack skins haven't really impressed me so far. The only one that I saw that was like really impressive that I kind of wanted but ultimately didn't buy was the one from the Marvel's season. I think it was. Is a character that looked like Red Hood with like his red mask and all. It wasn't quite. It's not Red Hood, but he reminded me of Red Hood. But I think it was like the Stinger pack of something like that. But this guy here looks really cool. Personally, I think I prefer the default version where he's got the face paint on and it's all black. I mean, usually any skin that's almost entirely black looks cool. The blue and I guess what is it, brown? Isn't bad either. That one doesn't have the face paint on his face, but that's fine. It's very little difference between them. But yeah, whenever they fix this skin, whenever they fix this pack, I want to definitely pick it up. It's $4 too, so not a bad pack at all. But yeah, it sort of sucks that the skin pack was so buggy that they had to take it down. It was the same day that they accidentally put in a battle pass music thing that you could buy into the item shops. They had to take that out and replace it. So very bad day for the item shop. But all that got worked out. If you ended up buying that track that was in the battle pass, they took it back from you, but they did give you a refund in V-Bucks. So at least they do try to fix these problems. I know sometimes it takes them a while. And initially the crew memberships had issues with some of the skins, where there was a delay between V-Bucks and getting the skin, and some people got the skin early, but that seems to have been worked out. There haven't, at least from my end. I think the last 2 months with the crew have gone fairly smoothly. And that's not to say that some people may have not have experienced it, but I didn't see any. It wasn't a widespread thing if it was. But hopefully they can get this fixed and get it back at the shop. There's also another skin coming, but this is part of a bigger deal that's going to be taking place within the season, and that is the reveal from the Batman Fortnite comic book covers that, as people had suspected from the summaries of the chapters of what was going to be in those issues, Deathstroke is definitely going to be in Fortnite. He's going to be in the comic, which means he'll likely be a skin. And as you can see here on this cover, next to Catwoman, he will be there. That's definitely Deathstroke. Deathstroke's one of those characters that I thought should have been, was possible for the last season, with bounty hunters and assassins and mercenaries and stuff like that is the theme. And considering Deadpool is already in the game, and we all know Deadpool was inspired by from Deathstroke, my bad. So Deathstroke is the original. Deadpool came later. And Deadpool is sort of a parody version of Deathstroke in name, even their name, Deathstroke, Deadpool, and then their actual names, Slade Wilson versus Wade Wilson. So Deadpool is basically a parody of this character. So it's fun. It'll be fun to have them in the same game. And hopefully this time they'll actually do with Deathstroke what they should have done with Deadpool and make his swords the harvesting tool instead of Deadpool's meaty mallets. That's such a weird decision when you really think about it. Like, why not? Oh well. At least it does. Doing that at least did give Deadpool. Deadpool does have one of the most popular back blings, though. You still see people use that back bling with any and all skins. So at least Deadpool has the most popular back bling. But yeah, I'm curious where the story's going to go. I plan on picking up these comics, not just for the cosmetics, but because of the story elements too, because of course I like Batman. And I am interested in the Fortnite lore. You know, like multiverse stories are interesting to me, even though a lot of the times they're really convoluted. But this could be a good story. Hang on, I lost my train of thought. Crap. I hate when that happens. But where was I going with that? So the big question is, in this thing, of course, you know, like the events of the comic are going to tie into whatever is happening in Fortnite within the Battle Royale as it's happening. So we're now less than a month away from that. That starts on April 20th. And we will likely see Batman's little shop. Maybe Batman himself will show up on the island as a character you could talk to. Raven is on the island right now. We all know she's in the Battle Pass. So having Batman show up will be interesting. I'm curious as to what, you know, how does Deathstroke being in this, and also remember that Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe will be in this as well. I don't know if that's going to be the only outside character to show up in this or not, but that is interesting. But at least we could say for sure Deathstroke is going to be a skin. Gotta be. If he's in this comic, then he's going to be. Also, will we get a new Catwoman skin? Because that seems to be the idea. Like, there's a new Harley skin, considering that's her design in the comic. A new Batman skin based on his design in the comic, which I'm fixing to get into something about him. But I got to be a Deathstroke skin too. I hope. Not I hope. It's definitely gonna happen. Anyway, let's move on from there because I can't keep my train of thought. The question being basically is, why is Deathstroke here? I was watching, I think it's the PlayStation Grenade channel. I can't remember what that guy's name is. He does a lot of Fortnite stuff where he goes over like the changes in the map whenever something like that happens. Whenever there's a big update, he'll discuss what's changed, what's different, what's stayed the same. But he mentioned that there could be a nice little timeline matchup going on, where he pointed out the fact that the Last Laugh bundle is still in the shop. Now, I've got this, so it doesn't show up in my shop, but apparently you can still buy this. Go on by this, what this guy says. I haven't checked it. I have no idea. But according to that channel, you could still buy this pack. Now, that's interesting. Because this came out forever ago. Remember, you could get it early at the end of Season 4, and then it was in the item shop starting in Season 5. So, the idea from this particular person is that the Joker could be the mastermind behind this whole Batman Fortnite crossover thing, because, of course, you know, wouldn't the Joker be likely to want to bring in Batman to an island where time resets itself every 22 minutes and you can't speak, you don't remember who you are, and you're just running around in this island, you know, like that? So I think it could fit the Joker's, you know, it does seem like something the Joker would do. And considering that Midas was part of this set for absolutely no reason, like, he's got to be there for a reason. Why do you have two DC characters in a DC pack and then introduce a new version of Midas along with them? Surely there's got to be some sort of story element that ties this into it. And Midas, of course, we know is a very important character in Fortnite. Bunker Jonesy specifically mentioned Midas during the last season, where they think that where he thinks there are multiple versions of Midas, and that the Midas that we are familiar with is not the original one, that maybe this is the original one here in this pack. Maybe he's involved with the Fortnite, with the Batman crossover thing. Could make sense. Both Joker and Midas are, you know, big criminals, so it would make sense. I don't know how Poison Ivy would figure into this. We haven't really seen anything about her in this comic crossover, but she could be there. Harley's there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I do think there's also another option on the whole mastermind behind the island, or behind Batman being on the island thing. And that is, I think there's a chance that it could be Jones's. It could be Jonesy who has caused all of this. We haven't seen any word that Jones has been, that Jonesy is involved with this at all, in the comics at least. But here's something that someone else, I can't remember who it was, I sort of casually mentioned it when they were going through like the Battle Pass. I was looking through Battle Pass reactions and all, trying to see how people kind of got their, what their opinions of it were. And someone just sort of casually mentioned that Agent Jonesy there is wearing a Batman's utility belt. And I didn't really think much about it at the time, but then I decided to go look through these better shots of the new armored Batman skin that's going to be coming to the game, of his outfit that he's wearing in the comics. And sure enough, if you could look at these images here of armored Batman and of Agent Jones, it's the same utility belt. So the interesting thing here is that Jones is wearing the belt during the end of Season 5, before Batman is set to arrive on the island. Why? How does he have this belt? You know, that's the big question, you know, for me. If the events haven't happened yet, if Batman has not come to the island yet, why does he have his belt? Now, this could just be a little teaser of the Batman thing, so you don't forget about it, but I doubt it. They do things like this all the time. And considering that if you look at this particular version of Agent Jones, he's got gear that he's gotten. He's wearing gear he's gotten from all the different characters he's recruited to the island within the last season. As you can see, he's fashioned his what used to be his suit into sort of a gi, like a makeshift tattered up gi. He's wearing armor that's got the Mandalorian symbol on it. He's got one of Ryu's gloves on. He's got like a quiver for some arrows, which I think come from the Walking Dead guys, if I'm not mistaken. So he's wearing, and he's got combat boots. I can't remember who it was wearing combat boots from last season. Maybe Laura, but I can't remember. Considering she did show up, and she was very briefly in the cinematic trailer for the season, just before Ryu destroys Peely, you can see Laura running. So it's very, very quick. It's when I watched it the first time, I didn't notice it. It's very fast. And of course, she shows up in the in-game event later as a tease for the Battle Pass. But she's part of the chaos, beforehand. So my question is this. Has Jones already... Has the Batman events... Is it possible that these Batman events have already taken place in some sort of alternate reality of some sort, and he's got this belt, or has there been some time travel involved or something where Jones has the belt, and yet Batman is still going to come to the island? Because remember, the comic events are supposed to be happening alongside the events on the island. So if we're reading all this correctly, then this Batman is happening during this primal era of Fortnite, not during the last one during the 0 Point Crisis and all that stuff. That should be the proper timeline. So I can't help but wonder if maybe we find out that Jones was the one who brought Batman to the island in hopes that it would help him take down the Order. And maybe it's the Order who brought in Deathstroke. There's a lot of possibilities, because the storyline is that somebody is supposed to betray Batman's crew. Batman's going to have basically like this small group of warriors to go after the Order with him, and then somebody's going to turn on him. And it only makes sense that it would be Deathstroke. And remember, they're all supposed to escape the loop at some point, which means they'll regain their ability to speak, and I assume it makes them immune to the island's time loop. If I understand the way the island works. So, that's just me assuming that that's how that I understand the game's lore. Anyway, I just think this is a very interesting thing to see Jones with the Batman belt. It's clearly the same belt. It's got the same pouches on the side, the same little design on the front. It's clearly the same belt. I just want to know how he got it. Why does he have it before the events supposedly have already taken? These are events that have not happened yet. So how does he have this belt? I assume that will be explained in the comic. Anyway, that's just fun. Another question we need to ask involving Jonesy is, what exactly, or who exactly, is the Foundation? And people have theorized that they already know who it is, and it's a very strange coincidence, but it's fun to talk about. A lot of people think that the Foundation is some way connected to Dwayne Johnson, famously known as The Rock. And it's based on the fact that, you can't really see it in this picture I grabbed, because I couldn't find a picture that I liked. But the Foundation's left side is a different shade, is a different color than the rest of him. It's blue, whereas the rest of his body armor, I think, is like gray, silver, black. And it's in the exact same shape as The Rock's tattoo on his shoulder. And strangely enough, the day of the new season, The Rock put out a very strange like video. Not strange as in like, it's creepy. Just a very, you know, a very vague video where he brought up it was a very important day to building. He said something to the effect of building. It was a very important day for a certain community in building the power known as the foundation or something like that. He didn't get specific. It was very vague, very intentionally vague. And it's just a weird coincidence that he would say that, they're trying to build up the power of the foundation the same day that a character who appears to be somewhat influenced by him shows up on the Fortnite island and is named the Foundation. And he happens to be very powerful. So I don't know. I've seen people try to analyze the Foundation's voice. People seem to think that that if there is any connection, it's likely that maybe just The Rock voiced him, which I think is likely. Well, I don't know if it's likely, but I think it's possible. It's possible that he was the one that they picked to voice him. The Rock has done voiceover before. In fact, like considering this would be right up Donald Mustard's alley, I think The Rock was in the first episode or so of Transformers Prime. That was a cartoon that ran on the Hub. That is now Discovery Kids or Discovery Family or something like that. Like around the same time that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic would run. I actually really, really liked Transformers Prime. That was a really good show. But he played a very small role. I think it was a character that was killed off like almost instantly. And I can understand that. They probably can't afford to hire Dwayne Johnson to voice, to regularly voice a character like that. But, so The Rock's not, and of course The Rock did that. I can't remember what it was called. There was some film. Of course, there's Maui and the Moana film from Disney, but there was also a film he played an astronaut that went to an alien world, and the aliens treated him like you generally see aliens get treated when they land on Earth in other films. So, in that film, the Rock's character, the human, the Earthling, was treated like an alien on this other alien, on the alien world. So that was an interesting. I didn't watch that film, but but that's the idea of what that movie was about. So yeah, definitely he's not a stranger to voiceover. Definitely a decent possibility that he voiced this character, but I don't think anybody really has confirmed anything. But that's interesting. The only thing I really wouldn't want, I've seen a few people suggested maybe he's that Dwayne Johnson is the Foundation, as in literally, like if you took his helmet off, it would be Dwayne Johnson. And if that's the case, I would say no. I don't want a real person to be involved in this fictional world. Not that way. I don't mind characters coming like Travis Scott coming in to do a concert because he's Travis Scott and he's a performer and that's his role. And even in this world, he's a performer. Okay, that makes sense. But he's not. But I wouldn't want Travis Scott to be one of the seven. Does that make sense? Or to be like, oh, the mastermind behind all of this whole island, is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He controls this whole world. I'm like, no. Let it be a fictional character. Like, if you want to do a Rock skin, a Dwayne Johnson skin, do it. Please do. That would be hilarious and fun. And the big question there would it be a Dwayne Johnson skin? Or would it be a skin of The Rock? Because, yeah, it's the same guy, but, if they just involved with the man himself, then they probably can't use the name. They probably can't call him The Rock. So they could probably make jokes, but there might be some like gimmicky stuff that you couldn't do with him. Like, I'm sure people would like to see him like do the eyebrow thing if that was like a built-in emote or something, But I don't know how much of his mannerisms that they would be able to actually have the rights to put into the game if they're basing it off of his character when he was a wrestler. But just a plain old skin of him as Dwayne Johnson probably would not be. I'd imagine he would be all for it, especially like he's a big action movie star. You wouldn't necessarily need to base it off of him as a wrestler, but that would be a really cool, extra thing. I don't know if the WWE would be willing to do that though in a game with guns. I mean, I know that they've done crazy stuff over the years. But that said, I mean, you got Ryu and Chun-Li in this game. So who knows? Batman's in this game. Batman is, like I've said before, Batman is the anti-gun character, and he's in a game with guns where the only real way you can win is to give Batman a gun. Granted, he's not killing people, but it's still, So yeah, I guess they could do that. Like I said, as long as it's not him literally being this character, then I'm all for whatever they want to do. But I guess getting into depressing things, or not necessarily depressing. This is just a little tidbit thing, but Microsoft is rebranding Xbox Live as just the Xbox Network. I don't know really what the big deal is. I guess there's not really one. They're just calling it something different. The other thing is that they also apparently, or the word is they're looking to buy Discord. Personally, not a fan of Discord. I've used it before. Didn't like it. I've seen people say that this reeks of when Microsoft bought Skype, and people say like, yeah, and I hate Skype now. So who knows? I don't plan on rejoining Discord. I didn't enjoy the time I spent on it. All the extra rooms and stuff, like I don't know. It seems like a collection of like a bunch of forums, or something. Forums where you could talk to people, but it just for some reason it just seems so cluttered to me, and I couldn't get it. Maybe I just didn't spend enough time on it. Learning how to work around it and get familiar with it. But I don't know. I'm just giving you the information. There it is. Sony bought Evo. That's interesting. And the word is that they don't plan to... Is that... Even though Sony's going to own this now, they said they're open to like the likes of Nintendo and Microsoft still being a part of it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that Smash has already been removed from it. Like, Smash is not expected to be at the next Evo now, and it's one of the biggest fighting games. So that could be Nintendo not wanting to, that could be Nintendo not wanting to have their characters benefit another company, which it's just so dumb. Like, especially considering that Nintendo doesn't organize Smash events either. They don't do that. But I guess we'll have to see how this affects things. But the big news everybody was really disappointed in is the rumor going on now that Sony is planning to shut down the eShops on like the PS3 and the PS Vita and PSP or something like that within the next few months. And somebody pointed out that like one of the big heads at Sony has said that they don't see any value in old games, and they don't see the need to continue to support these old games when no one or only a very few number of people would be wanting, or are interested in them. And this is basically, well, it's not basically the same thing. It's a similar sort of mindset to Nintendo, except Nintendo doesn't see their old stuff as, worthless now. They think that they see it all as profitable, which is correct. If you make a game, you should keep selling that game. Give people a reason to buy it. I mean, if you make content, somebody is going to consume it. Especially if you're a big content maker like Sony. So it makes no sense that they would just stop. And apparently, like when these shops all go down, if they go down, like the rumor says, it'll be at least like 1,000 games that you can no longer play legitimately, or through like a legal means. You're gonna have to resort to pirating it, or emulating it, or whatever, to get that game. And like it's just so weird though that I can't remember what the guy's name is that said it, but like the idea that like these old games have no value, that's so dumb. Why would you say that? Like at least Nintendo, in the way that they gatekeep their stuff and won't let anybody have, they don't want people emulating Smash Brothers Melee, even though it's a 20-year-old game and it hasn't been available on any the last console that you could play Melee on was the Wii, and that console hasn't been in production for years now. And rather than port Melee up to the Switch and give people a way to play it online, they're just like, no, you just can't play this anymore. Like, at least Nintendo acknowledges though that Melee has value, because they don't want people to emulate it. They don't want people emulating the games or buying them, like, or whatever, out of the idea, it's a lost sale. You can't lose a sale of a product that you're not selling. I mean, you can't buy Melee from Nintendo anymore. So the only way you could get it is through some third-party store that's got it, where maybe you could buy it from like your local computer shop or games or comic book store that's got an old, maybe repaired GameCube or Wii there, and a working copy of this Melee disc. That's your only option to legitimately get this game, and Nintendo's not going to profit off of those sales. So, what do? Your only other option is to emulate it, because it's not available. And like I say this as somebody who wouldn't emulate, I play some of my older games on my channel through emulation. The ones that I still own legally, it's just either they're like the games are in storage or whatever. I've got them packed away, but I own those games, and it's just easier to emulate them than to go try to dig out all the stuff. But it's the same game. I'm playing a game that I own. But this is just complete craziness that somebody would actually say, no, these old games, like, yeah, we don't care. They're not worth anything. Like, no, they are worth something. Like, imagine if Nintendo just said, nobody wants to play Super Mario Brothers anymore. Nobody wants to play Mario 3 anymore. Like, that's ignoring the whole fact that Nintendo just made a killing off of the Mario 3D All-Stars release. And those were emulations of their old games that they, optimized. And it's just such a weird thing to hear a game company say that they actually think that their old games aren't worth anything. I don't know why these companies can't bring these older games back. Like, almost any device these days should be able to run Mario Brothers. I mean, those old game files are so small compared to what they are now. It's just there's no excuse for it. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the Nintendo strategy was terrible, and it couldn't really get worse than just saying like, yeah, we know people want to play these games, but we're not going to give them to you. This is Sony just saying like, no, we don't want to work on these games anymore. We just like, no, screw you. It doesn't matter. Oh, would you buy this game? Well, too bad, man. Like, we don't care. Like, at least Nintendo feigns this idea that they care about the integrity of the game. Here, they're just telling you that they don't. It's just whatever they think is going to make them money, which is weird. I don't know why hosting a game on your service would cost you anything if you own the rights to that game. But I don't know. But that's all I got for you today. A lot of Fortnite stuff as usual. A lot of stuff going down right now. So, dinosaurs are about to be in the game. The dinosaurs in Fortnite, the dinosaur eggs that you can find at different places in the game are at stage 2. They're beginning to hatch. You can hear heartbeats coming from the eggs on the map. There's apparently a stage 3, and then I guess they will hatch. So I guess that will happen in 3 weeks or so. It'll be interesting. But yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Go check out all my stuff, and we will see you next time. Later.